Hello! Hi, everybody. Welcome to Witch Finger Horror Podcast. We were just singing Morgan's favorite song.
It is my fucking favorite song. I love it. So catchy.
Yes, it is. So hello, welcome everybody to Witch Finger Horror Podcast. My name is Yasmina, and to my left is Morgan.
Hello.
To my right is Megan.
Hello.
And tonight we embark on classic Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Oh, this movie is so rotten. I love it.
It's one of Morgan's favorites.
It's so bad. I have to watch it once a year.
Yeah.
For many years.
I know there's a lot of very 50-50 on the haters and the lovers of this movie. So there's obviously the haters that are all like, it has nothing to do with Michael Myers, fuck that movie. And then there's a lot of like people who are like, well, it has nothing to do with Michael Myers, but
that's kind of cool.
Shut up.
Yeah.
like fuck off. Like, it's still a good movie as its own, you know, like as a standalone
Yeah.
movie,
The
which
movie's
I
called
agree.
Halloween. The movie is about Halloween.
Yeah.
So all you people who hate it can go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
It gives you exactly what the title says it's gonna fucking
I know.
do.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are very, you know, I guess in love with the Michael Myers character.
Yeah, they're very
and like
character
feel
driven.
like devoted, but
Yeah.
it's like, well, it's not like you're cheating on him or anything by liking this movie. Like, it's just a movie. Relax.
Yeah.
Relax, man. Relax.
You know, I don't know. Like, I think it's too bad that like it didn't take off with the idea of each movie sort of being its own Halloween story.
Mm-hmm.
And like I understand, like obviously, you know, they went back to the Michael Myers format after this movie because of, you know, money, and it didn't perform well at the box office and that sort of thing. But I don't know. I would be curious to see where it would have gone, because I think
Yeah,
there
for
could
sure.
be some really cool
Mm-hmm.
Halloween
Well,
stories.
I think what they could have done, better, is if they're trying to get away from that, like, general storyline and they wanted to do different Halloween stories, maybe making the second Halloween movie different.
Right.
So it's setting the premise. When you have two Halloween movies in sequence that both have the same character, and then you introduce the third without that character,
right.
it's going to throw people
People
Yeah.
are like, what the fuck?
because you set the standard already that he's going to be in those
Yeah.
movies,
Yeah, because
right?
I guess the second Halloween, that was actually supposed to be it for Michael.
Yeah, it was like Michael Myers died.
Yeah.
And then, so
As
now
he
it
does.
was going to
I
continue on
watched
as a
the
standalone
second
movie
one
kind of.
again recently. It's good. I liked it. It's
Yeah.
definitely not as good as the first one.
Did you not
though.
just
That
watch
one's amazing.
H2O or something? Why do I feel like you posted something about that?
I don't know.
No, it
Last
wasn't H2O,
October,
maybe.
I watched H2O.
Resurrection.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Resurrection is the worst one for
God.
sure. Like, that
Is that
movie
the one
is
with Busta
crap.
Rhymes?
I was about to fucking say that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Anytime you cast a rapper in a horror movie, you know it's rotten.
Unless it's like Leprechaun in the Hood. Because they're all rappers. And it's amazing. Yeah,
so
because
terrible.
Warwick Davis smokes a joint.
Oh
and it's
my
hilarious.
fucking
Actually, I think he
God.
smokes weed in the space one too, doesn't he?
Oh, probably.
I'm pretty sure he
Fucking
does.
knows. I forgot he went to space. I was doing a whole space
Uh,
thing. I forgot about him.
Yeah, whenever they go into space as well, when they go in the hood, not good. When they go into space, it's also not good.
Yeah, they should be
Jason
like
X and Hellraiser
in the
in
space ghetto.
In the
Make
space-
one in the
in the
space
ghetto.
ghetto. In the ghetto.
Speaking of space, I just rewatched Jason X.
Yeah.
I love it. First of all,
Yeah,
I
it's
love
cheesy and
it.
it's fun.
I love it because the script is hilarious. The characters are hilarious. The guy who is the stoner in Freddy vs. Jason gets his arm cut off in Jason X, and he's such a fucking like same character stoner.
Yeah,
so funny.
yeah.
My only critique of that movie is that it's about easily 20 minutes too long. It's like a 2-hour fucking movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't watched
Jason
it in
in
probably
space,
like 3 years.
A 2-hour movie? Meh.
Unnecessary, for sure.
Yeah, it's a Canadian one though, eh?
Come on.
I'm pretty sure Jason X is Canadian.
No, it's not. Really?
I want to say it is.
Well, maybe just because filming in Canada and production in Canada is a
way
lot cheaper.
Well,
because
all those
the
actors
US.
are Canadian.
That's really
so that's
cool.
why I
That's
assume
really
that.
cool.
That probably is why. Then they probably just hired like
Except for
cast
Kane
out of
Hodder,
Toronto
but
and stuff.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that movie was. Yeah, it is. It's both actually. It's USA and Canada.
Interesting.
Because I know all those fucking actors are Canadian. But yeah,
You can always tell.
Yeah, for sure.
You can always
You can always
You
tell.
can.
And the quality.
Yeah.
If it's Canadian or not, or too many A's here or there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, came out in 1982. It was written and directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, and this is his directorial debut. He also directed Fright Night 2, which I think is hilarious. Like the original Fright Night 2, not the like Colin Farrell sequel.
Yeah, it's okay.
I thought it was, I mean, it's obviously not as good as the first Fright Night, but I still think it's pretty entertaining. Like there's a fucking vampire on rollerblades, which is hilarious. And he also did It.
Which is awesome. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's really cool.
And he also did the sequel to John Carpenter's Vampires, Los Muertos, with Bon Jovi. And all the vampires sound like cheetahs.
I'm going to assume that John Carpenter had zero to do with that. Or did he?
I'm not sure. Let me look it
Let's
up.
find out.
I think he did, but
He's a good sport.
Yeah, he's a good sport. And I also remember renting it and watching it and being like, this is obviously going to be terrible because Bon Jovi is a fucking vampire hunter.
Was it straight to DVD type of thing?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it sounds like
because I don't remember that being in the theaters, but...
And I don't remember John Bon Jovi having any acting ability either, so I'm pretty sure it went straight to DVD.
I think it's just the lion mane.
Yeah.
That
for sure.
That they were probably
He's a little bit... It's a little bit more tame these days. It's very, very, like... perfect and like his hair's not as crazy
his character
as it used to be.
His character, and when I say character, I'm not talking about the film, I'm talking about his character in life. His character screams vanilla white bread good boy.
Who Bon Jovi?
Totally. Yeah.
He's got the blonde hair, pretty face. He has a restaurant that serves like cheap food for people who can't afford it. Like
his own cologne too, I think.
I bet you it smells like fucking bug spray.
But it smells like pussy.
So John Carpenter only was the executive producer on it.
So which just means he got a paycheck.
Yeah,
that's it.
Much.
He said, yeah, you know what? I think your ideas are okay. I'm just going to take this to the bank. And you guys can do your own shit.
Yeah. Another commercial is being played on the TV. This song is played 15 times in the movie.
Wow, that's
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Apparently this gas station was in the fog as well.
Oh, cool.
Yep. It's the same gas station. I think they filmed a lot of the stuff sort of in the same area.
Well, this movie was also produced by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. And Tommy Lee Wallace, just some like... information, like history on him. Like he was the editor and production designer on the first Halloween and The Fog. I refuse to watch The Fog remake.
So we'll talk about The Fog remake in a sec, but just clarify for me. He did set production. Sorry, what else did he do?
Production designer
and editor.
Yeah.
He also wrote and directed.
Halloween 3, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was Michael Myers.
So this man has literally done it all.
Yeah.
Like in the film industry. I love that.
Yeah, he also, like Nick Castle is the guy who plays Mike Myers masked. And Tony Moran is Michael Myers unmasked. But they needed someone to be Michael Myers in some scenes when Nick Castle wasn't there.
I was gonna say, that's interesting.
So he's in a couple scenes as Mike Myers.
That's so cool. Good
they switched people out for the character, like in some of those movies back then. Like, it's just like if it was their day off or they were just like working their day jobs, it'd be like, you put the mask on.
Yeah,
that's
you put the mask on.
Yeah.
The guy who played him in the second one was named Dick Warlock. I just have to bring this up.
Dick
Warlock!
Yeah,
it's his real name. It's fucking amazing. Dick Warlock, he's a stuntman. Anyways.
Well, he's a warlock.
Yeah,
so he can do it all.
Made of penises.
I just feel him wobbling around everywhere.
Yeah. His like wand is a dick. His warlock dick wand.
Oh my god.
So I'll bring it back to The Fog because I don't want to forget because I know you had some stuff to say about it.
I just like I'm pretty open. Like I'm not very closed-minded, and like I will like give anything a chance. Like I'll watch whatever,
Except
even
Martyrs.
if it's bad. Oh, we'll get it.
Oh shit!
But I think I refuse to watch The Fog remake.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw it in the theater.
original
I remember
it. The original's so.
The thing
Okay.
is, why are you making a remake? There are movies that come out with remakes, and it's like, yes, I get it. For example, we've talked about the It remake that will be coming out. There's so much storyline and so much character development that a remake could potentially be really good.
It could potentially.
Yeah, and then
meaty
it'll be
story.
2 full-length movies.
It's a meaty story. But
yeah,
because
that book is thick.
The Fog really isn't. It's an entertaining movie. It's a great book, but it's not really a meaty story.
Have you
Why
seen
the
it?
fuck would you remake it? No, I love the original. I read the book and I've seen the original a million times.
Like, what do the pirate ghosts look like in
They're
the
very
remake?
vague. Oh,
Yeah.
the remake. I've never seen the remake.
It's
Yeah.
just like. Sorry. From what I remember, it's just kind of like, I don't know, shapes. It's not. I don't remember seeing pirates.
Shapes is what they were in the original. You kind of got the outline
Yeah.
of the Buccaneer hat and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and then you see them in the church at the end of the movie.
Right, which was super creepy.
look
but
awesome.
why are you going to remake anyways?
Yeah, I
just
kind of
don't-
refuse to
I
watch
wonder
it.
about that for
Yeah.
a lot of movies, though. Like, it seems to me lately more movies are being remade that really are, it's completely unnecessary. Like, every time, like, you hear, like, oh, they're remaking this movie, you're like, why?
Yeah, just
Why?
make another one. Like, there's a difference between doing, like, a remake or a sequel or, like, a new story.
Like Twin
in
Peaks.
like, you know what I mean? It's just, like...
Because when I found out they were making the new Twin Peaks, I was like, fuck my
It's a
life.
continuation.
Right, and that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the way you have to do it. You want to make a new The Fog or whatever, make a continuation. Make it your own story. Take the characters that are already developed and
Yeah.
make it your own.
Yeah, well...
Personally, that's what I like. Personally.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. Tommy Lee Wallace also played one of the pirate ghosts in the original Fog.
Which is
This
super
man
cool.
is
I know.
Yeah,
so
I know.
great.
He's done
Yeah,
everything.
he's done everything. Well, he was actually offered to direct Halloween 2, but he actually declined it because he wasn't impressed with the script.
Which is
I mean, but the
interesting,
script
because
is
then he went for
okay.
3.
I know. Well,
But he
it's-
wrote 3, right?
Yeah.
So he got to make it his own.
Well, technically, actually, he didn't write 3. Apparently, there was
Oh, I think I remember reading about this.
yeah, there was a
Another
a
guy that actually wrote the
a
script.
sci-fi
right?
writer from England who actually had written the script originally. I'm trying to look in my notes
And
here.
then, like, what happened was that, like, after all the, like, the edits and cuts, he was unhappy with the edits of the script, so then he left the project. And then Tommy Lee Wallace
Picked it
just,
up.
like, picked it up and finished it.
Okay.
But he was always attached to directing it. I know that.
Right.
Yeah, apparently it was after Dino De Laurentiis, who was the film distributor.
I don't mind the script for
Yeah.
Halloween 2. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's not as good as the first one, but,
Apparently they wanted more gore.
yeah.
And then the guy his name is Nigel Neal. So he's a British science fiction writer. And they asked him originally to write the original screenplay. Because John Carpenter apparently admired a show that he had done called Quartermass. And his script really didn't include, like, horror for horror's sake. Like, it was more like a science fiction kind of take on things.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the distributor wanted more violence and gore, which actually kind of pissed him off. And so he was like, well, I'll take my name off. And apparently there was some lawsuit stuff involved.
Yeah.
So then the director took over and then rewrote a bunch of stuff. And then, it kind of evolved from there, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I think it evolved fine. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's funny. I also know that more about Tommy Lee Wallace is he voices the announcer and the Munchkin singers on the Silver Shamrock commercial song. So he's like one of the voices on that.
He's that.
on the commercial. Yeah. Tommy Lee Wallace, Nick Castle, who plays Mike Myers in the first movie, and John Carpenter, they actually started a band called
What?
Coup de Ville, and they created the soundtrack for Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Like, I love that John Carpenter does all the music for his own movies, and he did do the score. Him and Alan Howarth did the score for Halloween 3. Oh, he just got his eyes gutted out.
Yeah.
I'd love to see John Carpenter live.
He played in Detroit.
Yeah,
I
he
know,
just
I
played in
know, I
Detroit,
want to
yeah.
throw up. I know.
Oh, I love how he just like pulls his face right off.
Yeah,
P.S.
he just like pulled his like
eyeballs out.
bridge skin
Yeah.
up. But yeah, I saw Alan Howarth in concert once, and that was incredible. Except, like, he was using a Mac, and the Mac kept on fucking up. He was getting so mad. He's like, I'm sorry.
Leave it to technology.
Yeah, I know.
Lame.
Gotta go analog all the way.
Yeah.
So speaking of someone who does everything, I know John Carpenter obviously does a lot of stuff too. But I just had this like flash where I wanted to talk about David Cronenberg because he does a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like he directs obviously, but I was just watching Nightbreed the other day, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the killer.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, he appears in a lot of movies. Yeah.
He's a person where you actually like when you see him, you're like, yep, that's what you look like.
Totally.
Yeah,
100%.
He is very
creepy
distinguished
motherfucker.
looking, for
Yeah.
sure.
Not like Joe Dante, who we just saw.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
what made me think of it.
Yeah.
Joe Dante just looked like a cute old man, whereas Cronenberg looks like freaky as fuck, like mad scientist.
Yeah.
He totally looks like a mad scientist.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
And interestingly enough, actually, to bring up Joe Dante, he actually was supposed to direct this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it
That would
says
have made
that-
it less, I think it would have made it more like fun, like Gremlins, like family oriented, whereas this is actually like pretty like scary, I guess.
Yeah.
It is. It fucking is. This man's on fire. That's really scary.
Yeah, one of the guys in the suits.
Yeah.
I actually like when I watch this movie, I find that it has a lot of similarities with They Live, which is another John Carpenter movie. Like that's like the whole big corporation conspiracy theory, you know, like Big Brother, everyone's watching, and like these guys in the business suits are walking around, and like obviously like we've seen this movie many times, like spoiler alert, like they're androids.
Yeah.
And like it's like in They Live, how they're aliens, and like they're all like rich.
They want people to
and
buy stuff, and they're trying to get everyone
Consume.
to like, yes, consume.
Yeah, it's a lot like They Live to me.
Just briefly talking about Season of the Witch, and I've talked about it, I think in almost every episode we talk about Nicolas Cage. Name one fucking episode we haven't talked about Nicolas Cage.
I know.
Well, we have to keep it going.
Season of the Witch. I know you guys have seen it out there. Ron Perlman, Nicolas Cage.
I need to watch
Great
the whole
movie.
thing.
And you know what? The girl who they cast to play the witch in the movie is actually really good.
Oh, cool.
She's really, really good. There's
Too
a
bad
twist.
about the rest of the cast.
Too bad about the rest of the cast.
Yeah, like I remember
So
seeing it on
bad.
TV once, but it was at the end of the movie, so I was like, nah, I want to watch it from like
It'll
the
be one of your
beginning.
favorites.
That's not the
Yeah.
movie with the fucking cage of bees, is it? No. What?
No,
No,
it's Wicker
that's
Man.
the Wicker Man
Oh.
remake.
Oh.
See, another remake that didn't need to happen, but
Yeah.
also maybe did because of Nick
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage.
Yeah.
Like, if that movie didn't have Nicolas Cage in it, then I'd hate it. But because he's in it, it's just hilarious.
So
He, like,
bad.
fucking punches bitches in that movie,
Yeah.
man. It's hilarious.
Actually, it's funny. Yasmina and I were talking today. Do you know that Nicolas Cage has an Oscar? You know that, right? You know
I
that
was
he
like,
has an Oscar.
was it for her Vampire's Kiss?
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck?
No,
did he
he,
get an Oscar
he
for?
for leaving Las Vegas.
Oh, I was gonna say, Leaving Las Vegas is his only credible role.
I've actually never
It's
seen
such
it.
oh, dude, that movie, I won't
Is
watch
that a
it.
comedy? Oh, okay. I don't know anything about it, actually.
It fucked me up. Leaving Las Vegas to me was a lot like Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
It's like you watch
Interesting.
this man's life, this man's
Unravel.
horrible life, and I can't.
Okay, is it the
Oh.
one
I
where he
can't.
like freaks out on the bed?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
at
yeah.
least I know what it is, but just from
In a
watching
hotel
those like
room.
just from
Yeah.
watching the Nicolas Cage like compilation videos on YouTube, he's like like freaking out on a bed.
It's
Yeah.
a fucked up movie.
I watched his
Very
Oscar acceptance speech last night, actually. Just to be like, okay, well, he won an Oscar. Let's see what he had to say about it. And I couldn't believe that, like his voice and like how he was talking and stuff. It's like, that's really him. Like all these weirdos that he plays in these movies is actually just him. He's playing Nicolas Cage in every movie. He talks so very strange.
Well, that's like when he was on
So fucking weird.
he was on like a talk show where he came out like doing karate, like wearing a leather
Yeah.
jacket or
Like,
something.
what the fuck? He was also
God
nominated
damn
for
it, I
another
want to meet
Oscar.
him. Megan saw
nominated
his
for, adaptation.
pyramid tomb in
His
New Orleans.
pyramid tomb, and the girl on the tour was like, she had all these speeches made for everyone else's tombs that we saw, Marie Lavoie and all these people, and then we get to his tomb, and she's like, and this is Nicolas Cage's pyramid. He also bought the graves around it. So that he
Moving
didn't-
on.
So that he didn't live in a ghetto. He bought the graves around his grave so that he could clean them up, so that he literally, his words were, so that he didn't live in the ghetto. When he died, he didn't want to be in the ghetto.
P.S. You're in New Orleans. Wait until all the water levels rise and your body just floats the fuck on out of there.
Well,
Like,
that's the point, right? Of the graves,
Yeah.
the above ground graves. But it's the only pyramid in the fucking cemetery. Like, you
Very
narcissistic. Although you are Nicolas Cage.
God damn it, I
yeah,
love him.
Is he married? Is
Yeah.
someone fucking him on the regular?
Yeah.
'Cause that's
yeah,
amazing.
the nanny who was like really super young. There was like a weird scandal that went on with
Is it
him
like
a
an
while
Arnold
back.
situation?
Right?
Kind
With
of,
his
yes,
ugly ass love child.
Yeah. She's like really, really young, I think. She's like maybe like 20 or so years younger than him.
He was married previously, though.
He was married to Patricia Arquette.
Yeah.
Wow, that couple.
He thanked her in his Oscar speech last night that I watched.
Okay, I have seen that.
My
Oscar
beautiful
speech.
wife, Patricia, and they like zoom to her, and it's just like, what the fuck?
That's fucking hilarious. Anyways, point is, Season of the Witch. Watch the goddamn movie. It's so good.
Yeah, for sure. I need
Except
to
for
watch it from
Nicolas
the
Cage.
beginning. It has a 5.4 on IMDb, so that's not
Interesting.
that bad.
I hear too of
Because it's entertaining. Like I said, it'll be your favorite movie. It's so entertaining.
I need to watch. I just need to watch every Nicolas Cage movie. Like seriously, like just Vampire's Kiss blew my mind. Like that movie was fucked.
And then, side note, Yasmina went out to buy a poster.
I did.
It's in our fucking basement.
I went to a horror convention in Hamilton, and they were selling posters for $5, and he had like a list of all of them, and I was looking through them, and I was like, oh my god. Is that like the Nicolas Cage Vampire's Kiss? He's like, you're the only one that has asked about that one.
And now it's in our basement.
I was like, and now it's in our house. It's in the basement. It's actually right outside like the guest room, so when we have guests stay over, they open their door to see Nicolas Cage and fucking fake vampire teeth.
The worst fangs ever.
I know.
You want to talk about bad/good vampire movies? Vampire in Brooklyn, Eddie Murphy.
Oh, no.
Tell me you
Wrong.
guys
It's a
have
good movie.
seen that.
Oh yeah,
It
I
is
like
so
it.
good.
Yeah, I like it. It's watchable though. It's
Yeah.
not
It
like
is
it's not
so
rotten. It's like it's actually watchable. Also,
trying to be
Tom Atkins
Dracula.
was in the hotel just now, and he switched on the TV, and
Halloween was playing.
was playing. Well, this movie, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, has a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, that's
That's
better
I would
than
agree
many of
with
the
that.
movies we've watched
I
already.
know, that's true.
It is,
I
it
know.
is.
But
But
Many
I
of
don't
them
agree.
have zero.
I don't agree.
Yeah.
And also a 4.6 on IMDb. Jamie Lee Curtis is actually uncredited as the voice of the curfew announcer and the telephone operator.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty
in the
interesting.
film.
This guy
My
loves
notes
to
are so
drink
long.
and fuck in this movie. P.S.
Yeah, Tom Atkins, pretty much. He just like fucks everybody.
Yeah, no, he's
How do you
just
say
like
no to him?
he's just
Yeah.
all about like banging chicks. Like it's pretty crazy. Like,
Dude.
and he just drinks the whole movie, and he's like an alcoholic fucking fuck bag. It's amazing.
He's a fuckbag.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about Tom Atkins.
Okay.
He is adorable. He is so fucking adorable. Like, he's in everything. It's insane. Like, every time I'm watching something like a horror movie, I'm like, there's Tom Atkins
He's like
again.
Gulager. He's
We
like
were
is,
just
yeah.
watching something that he was in.
My Bloody Valentine.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the My Bloody
right.
Valentine remake.
He always
So,
plays
like,
cops,
Did you
like
like that, by the
detectives.
way?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, actually.
That's
It's
good,
pretty
eh?
much like exactly like the original,
Yeah, it
except
is.
like a new version. Like
And
all
I
the kills
wish
were the
you,
same.
Yeah, I wish you had your 3D glasses. I have to admit, 'cause
Yeah.
I saw it in 3D and I love that shit.
Yeah, well, the part where like the pickaxe like goes
It's
through the
cool.
eyeball and the eyeball goes out the screen was pretty cool. But I'd never seen it, and I heard good things about it, and I finally watched it mainly because Jensen Ackles is in it.
Yeah.
But it's actually like it's really fucking gory.
It is.
Like it's
Yeah.
actually really gory. But yeah, it was really good. It was pretty much like it's not like word for word, scene by scene, but it's like the same.
It's
like they didn't
close,
change
yeah.
anything, and I actually like that. Like
Yeah.
I like that they didn't change anything. But yeah, Tom Atkins, stud. Born
Stud.
born November 13th, 1935.
Oh, so his
Birthday's
birthday's coming
coming
up.
His birthday's coming up. His 81st birthday
Aw, that's precious.
is coming up. And this is something that's very adorable and precious about him. His favorite movie is The Thing from Another World, like the original Thing.
The original.
Yeah, which is the movie that the kids are watching in Halloween.
Oh,
Yeah, like the one from the 50s.
that's
Fuck,
cool.
I love all that.
Like 50s
Inception.
sci-fi.
No, I love all that.
Oh yeah,
Inception
like
in the
Yeah.
movie within a
movies.
movie. Yeah. So that's his favorite movie, which is adorable. His first movie that he acted in was with Frank Sinatra.
What?
Yeah.
How
Isn't that
old
crazy?
was he?
I think it was in the 60s.
Okay, so he would have been like in his 20s,
Or
maybe, or
30s.
30s.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's
his first
cool.
movie that he acted in was with Frank Sinatra.
Imagine.
That's awesome.
Oh man,
For all
can you
you
imagine?
whippersnappers out
I
there,
heard
that's a
Frank
big
Sinatra
fucking
was a
deal.
motherfucker.
Of course he was a motherfucker. He was a womanizing alcoholic.
Oh, yeah.
He was a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I
He was
heard,
suave,
I'm really
though.
big into the Rat Pack. Of course he was suave.
Mm-hmm.
Really big into the Rat Pack. And I heard that he was so disrespectful to, why do I want to say Tommy Lee Jones? And
Sammy Davis Jr.
Thank you.
I another guy with 3
He
names.
was so disrespectful to him the entire time, but it was like, I'm Frank Sinatra, what?
Yeah, like, what are you going to do?
What
about
are
it?
you
Yeah.
gonna
Apparently, as well, I think this was in a biography that he would go into his record label meetings with a tie that said, "Fuck you."
Badass.
Those existed in the 50s?
Oh yeah, no, he
probably had
had
it made.
He had that shit
I was
made.
gonna say, there's no way.
And
Nowadays,
it probably was
yes.
like
Yeah.
a silk
Yes.
fucking tie, but like he
Yeah.
had a tie that said like "fuck off" or "fuck you," and he
That's
would
cool
wear it
stuff.
in his record label meetings just to be like, you know what, who's in charge?
Yeah.
This guy.
This guy.
That's awesome. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Tom Atkins. I just recently started like loving him, like just like maybe in the past like 5 years, like, cause it's like every time I fucking sit down and watch a movie, he's in
like,
it,
there
and I'm
he
like,
is.
it's him again, like it's amazing.
He's
such
another
a
one
good
of our
actor.
elderly boyfriends.
Yeah, he's
on
like Clue
Witchfinger.
Gulager
Yeah.
and James Karen. Like, he's adorable. I fucking like. Can you imagine just like hanging out in a room with Clue Gulager, James Karen,
Yeah,
and
like a
fucking Tom
huge
Atkins.
Witchfinger, like Clue,
Hanging
Tom
out with the
Atkins,
old
James
men.
Karen orgy.
I know,
Hello.
man. That would be fucking
They'd all be
awesome.
drinking scotch.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Well, I think 2 of them
amazing.
are
And complaining
dead.
about their hips.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, like he's in The Fog. Actually, and it's funny because the character name in The Fog is Nick Castle, who is Nick Castle, the real actor who played
yeah.
Michael Myers. He's in Escape from New York.
Yep. Night of the
He's
Creeps.
in Creep Show, Maniac Cop, the My Bloody Valentine remake, Lethal Weapon with Gary Busey.
I like how Gary Busey is the one
Yeah.
that you fucking
Of
named.
course, with Gary Busey. And Two Evil Eyes, which is that
Yeah.
one like collaboration movie with George A. Romero and Dario Argento.
Look at this bitch's onesie.
That's a
Yeah, we
sweet
haven't
bike.
really commented too much on the movie, but yeah, so far he's like
yeah.
on the prowl. He's looking, he's asking questions.
Yeah,
about-
because so they find out that the guy that got killed at the hospital stayed at this motel. So now they're investigating. Him and the guy's daughter are investigating this motel.
Yeah, an interesting point that was brought up on the "How Did This Get Made?"
Yeah, I made Morgan listen to the
podcast.
How Did This Get Made podcast.
Yeah,
This
on
was on
Halloween
How
Creek.
Did This
Yeah, on this episode.
It's
So,
pretty
it's-
fucking funny.
It's interesting because it's like, well, why does he care? I remember
Who?
there. Why does the Tom
doctor,
Atkins?
yeah, I know,
Yeah, why
right?
does he care? It's like
Yeah.
big deal. So
You're not a cop.
So no, he's not a cop.
You're
He's
not a
not
cop.
a detective.
Because he wants to fuck the daughter.
Why did I guess yeah,
And then he
shit, that's-
does.
Yeah.
And then he does. Spoilers.
Yeah.
But
he
yeah,
sticks
it's
his
like
penis in
balls
her
deep.
vagina.
Is this whole thing just an elaborate plan to get some pussy? Like he's
yeah.
going on this fucking crazy
Pretty
wild
much.
goose chase
Yeah.
to fuck her? That's it? Okay, cool,
I know,
man.
it's true.
I
Yeah.
get
Things
it.
were way better back then.
I get
And
it.
guys
And also-
put effort into pussy.
And in The Fog, he's kind of like that too in The Fog. Like, he just picks up Jamie Lee Curtis on the side of the road and fucks her that night too.
Oh, that's so terrible.
Like, he brings her home, like, back to his place, and they fuck that night too.
P.S. There's like nothing sexy about this fucking guy. He's like a fucking walking corpse.
Oh, here we
You
go.
know, but he's more like adorable to me. Like, he's
Yeah.
not sexy.
No, I know, but like, why anybody would be convinced that he
Yeah.
is?
But I love that in the, like, I'm a big fan of the, like, I actually, like, How Did This Get Made is probably my favorite podcast
Amazing.
to listen to. I love Jason Mantzoukas. Like, he's hilarious in The League. And, I love that they say that this is a horror movie about angry Irish businessmen.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I like how, like, they were like, well, why is it called Season of the Witch? Because there's no witch. And they're like, but there's a warlock. And I guess Season of the Warlock didn't sound. There's no songs called Season of the Warlock.
That is a good fucking
I know,
song.
but they
Must
also
be the
made
season of the witch.
a very interesting correlation is this movie is a lot like, do you guys remember Toys?
Yeah.
Fucked
Yeah.
up movie
That
with
movie,
Robin.
no.
That
No,
movie is
no.
so fucked up. I remember seeing it in theaters and I was a kid and I was so confused. But I read about it again today because I was listening to How Did This Get Made, and I was like, well, I read the fucking plot on Wikipedia and they are very similar movies actually. But that movie is fucked.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I
It's
like
fucked.
it, but I don't.
Yeah, like, it's weird, but they basically, like, it's like a factory. It's the same situation where they're, like, in a factory, and they're trying to, you know, like, avoid the people who are running it to, like, make these, like, army toys for kids that are actually real weapons. and like to take over the world, right? And that's just like fucking Halloween 3 with like the factory and the masks.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
Good point.
I know, it was like so like Jason Mantzoukas like made that point.
That's
The
interesting.
thing I don't like about toys is the lighting. The lighting creeps me out. If anyone's
The
ever
whole
seen,
end
if anyone's
was
ever seen
weird.
Drop Dead Fred, the lighting is very
Yes.
similar.
Oh my God. Totally agree.
Right? Like
Yeah.
it's very similar.
It's,
Where
like,
it's like this is
trippy.
kooky, but then when you're older as a kid, you're like, oh, this is kooky and fun. But you hit a certain age where you're like, even with Drop Dead Fred and toys, it's like I'm actually uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's actually a bad acid trip.
Yeah,
That's what it's like. Like, especially in Drop Dead
totally.
Fred, when it's like the pill becomes ginormous.
And oh my
All
god,
the
and
lighting
he
is
starts dying,
weird.
and that's what I mean with the lighting. As in with toys, it's they're focusing on whatever's in front of the camera, and everything behind it is black almost.
It's
Like when he
weird.
starts tripping out in Drop Dead Fred, same as in toys. It just really it makes everything look very big, large scale, and it's
But trapped, like, it feels
but
like you're trapped.
Oh
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that. It's genius, honestly.
Okay, are you guys are talking about the movie with Robin Williams?
Yeah, that movie's
Toys,
fucked
yeah.
up.
Okay, I
now.
don't think I've ever seen it.
Dude, it's fucked. Like, you should watch it again, and you'll probably be very confused. Like, I understand the
Probably.
plot, but the style that it was shot is just, it's scary. I find it scary.
Yeah.
And his character in it is weird. What's her name? Joan Cusack's character. She plays like a very like
I love her.
kind of like mentally disabled,
Yeah.
like, but she's an adult, but she's like young. Like, she acts like a kid in it. So it's very like she's supposed to be like all playful, but it just feels unusual and very irregular.
Yeah. Now I think is the time for us to start our list because, to be honest, I feel like these lists are going to spark some conversations. And
Okay.
these conversations
Oh,
are going to
absolutely.
take some
Are
going to
motherfucking
last.
time.
So basically, we're just going to talk about our favorite, like, Halloween-themed, not just horror movies, but, you
We're gonna
know,
do that
movies,
first?
TV shows, whatever. Anything that's like, it's like Halloween is this week, and, you know, like, we love Halloween.
This is a list of Halloween movies. This will progress into a list, be warned, of movies that we have recently watched.
Yes.
Because, as you know, if you've listened to us since the get-go, we do not stay on topic ever.
And that's fine because that's just how we roll.
And that's fine.
Okay, well, Megan, you go first.
Okay, so I'm gonna. My list is pretty interesting. I'm gonna start with The Hilarious House of Frightenstein.
Oh, I was thinking about putting that on my list too.
Number one on my
Yeah.
list, motherfuckers.
So good.
I wish I didn't. I wish I
one.
watched it when I was a kid, because I
Oh.
feel
You weren't
like
allowed.
I grew up in Alberta, and I think it was a TVO show, and TVO
Yes,
is an
yes.
Ontario channel,
And
I didn't get
it's
it.
I first started watching it in Quebec, actually, when I lived in Quebec as a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
So they had it in Quebec as well.
I wish I watched it.
But your parents wouldn't let you anyways.
If it was like a kids show, maybe.
Well, but it sort of was, but it was also
was
like
not.
it was the kind of show that like
I did watch it, like,
my
It was
mom,
recently.
like The Simpsons. Remember when The Simpsons
Yeah.
people were like, it's not for kids, but it was for
my
kids?
mom like
Yeah.
told me that like she would drop acid and watch it when she
Yeah.
was young. So it was that kind of show. Like,
Yeah.
it was like
Like
kinda-
Huff and Stuff, like,
yeah, like
HR Puff and
yeah,
Stuff.
like kids would be like
Huff and stuff.
Stuff.
kids would be like,
HR
that's
Puff and
fun,
Stuff.
but-
That shit's fucked up.
So that's top of my list for Halloween themed shows. I'm going to go quickly through this because we do have quite a bit to get through. Next, I guess I'll continue with shows, is the Beetlejuice cartoon, which Yaz was in my room the other day and we were watching.
It's a great
Obsessed.
cartoon.
Obsessed. Next, I'll do Scream Queens 2. Season 2, because Scream Queens revolves around Halloween. Season 2, revolves around Halloween. The best fucking show out there. Yaz will say differently.
Like, seriously, that show is amazing.
It's so
It's
fucking
so
good.
Like, it's honestly,
fucking good.
it's Clueless. If Clueless was like a horror
Yes.
themed movie, like, / TV show.
One
Like,
of the girls at the
it's
wedding.
so funny.
So I was at a wedding recently, and one of the girls who was actually doing my hair, she was like, "Do you watch Scream Queens?" And I was like, "Yes." She's being Chanel number 5 for Halloween.
Ah, that's hilarious.
Best.
Okay, and
ever.
like, you know what's funny is that like I've been doing a lot of like just like if I just browse my Instagram or just like read about stuff online, it's getting such good reviews. Like, people love it. Like,
It's a flawless
it's
show.
the writing is is incredible. Like the
The
writing,
thing is-
because it's like basically there's a killer, so it's like Clue, right? So there's a killer, and everyone's a suspect, and they're trying to figure out who the killer is, and it's genius. Like it's,
But it's
so
ditzy.
It's always like you're a
funny.
suspect. You're a suspect. Like no, you're the killer. You're the killer. And the mask.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
I love that.
Speaking
Jamie Lee
of
Curtis
6
is
Degrees
in
of
it.
Separation, Halloween, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. I love, there's no spoiler or anything like that, but in the second episode, I believe, she almost catches, like, the green devil,
Yeah.
and then she gets interrupted, like, by, like, the Princess Leia, whatever her name is, and then, like, the killer gets away, and she turns around, and she's like, damn it! The next time, like, you're about to catch the guy wearing the mask, and you're about to reveal who it is, don't fucking interrupt them!
It's the best show
It
ever.
is really
it
good.
literally is
And
the best.
even the first season, I was like, I actually really, really dig the Red Devil's costume. Like, it's just like a red
But the
latex
Green Devil
costume.
is
The Green
better!
Devil looks
I think
amazing.
it's
I
better.
posted a picture of it on my Instagram.
Yeah, I saw
recently.
that, and I was like, oh
He
my god,
looks
that guy's
awesome.
your boyfriend.
I
Better.
fucking love his mask. And also, John Stamos is still fucking smoking hot. Like, he's like
And
naked
he's
in that
so-
show.
Is
and
he?
it's like,
and
yes.
is his butt still good?
You
Do you
didn't
see his butt? No.
No.
But he's pretty
We
much
will.
in a shower
We will.
scene,
Too
and
bad.
he's just holding
Chad
a towel.
Radwell, her boyfriend Chad Radwell, is the funniest goddamn
I know,
character
he's
ever written
hilarious.
into any show ever.
You know who else I love in Scream Queens is her real name is Nicey Nash. Is the girl from Reno 911. She's like
yeah.
Oh my god, she's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
she's
goddamn funny.
hilarious.
She's
Yeah,
so
there's
fucking
honestly
funny.
like all good things about that show. The writing, I love how funny it is. Like
Well,
it's hilarious.
And that just reminded me, Yasmina. So as I was speaking with the girl who's going to be Chanel number 5 for Christmas, she was telling me that some of her friends don't like the show because they watched it and they're like, this is so basic. This is such a basic bitch thing to say. Her friends apparently said they don't get it because it's funny, but it's scary, and they don't understand which way the show is trying to go.
It's both. Duh.
How
Ridiculous.
ridiculous
That's
is
kinda
that?
Both. Like
So
there's
there
horror
are,
comedies.
but there are people out there who are like, I don't know how to feel about this because they're so. I don't want to
They,
like. I don't want to
they
say
can
people are
only
simple.
feel one way.
Right, I don't want to say people are simple, but some people get confused.
No,
if
but
you
people
put
are very
horror
simple.
and comedy together, or you know what I mean. If
Yeah.
you try
Yeah,
and
yeah,
match
yeah.
things up, people are like, I don't get it, and that's such a shame because it's a brilliant show.
It's brilliant. Like Morgan hasn't seen it yet.
No, I haven't.
Binge it, bitch. Just wait and
Fucking
binge it.
Okay.
the first season is on Netflix. And
Right.
just you'll love it. It's like honestly.
the best part.
Okay, so we're at the part in the hotel room, the motel, where she gets like
She gets
zapped with
zapped
the
by a laser, and now bugs are crawling out of her lips.
Yeah, and I love that it's like the chip right from the mask.
yeah.
That like fucking
She fucked with it.
shoots her with a blue laser.
Yeah, and it kills her actually.
I love her face. It's just her.
And then this like fucking like, I don't know, was that like a wasp?
It was a
or
massive
something?
bug. It was
It
so
just
Yeah, I
crawled
think it
into
was
her
a bee
hair
or
like
something.
no big deal.
yeah.
So anyways, I'm going to finish up my list real quick because like I said, we have a lot to get through. So I think I'm done with shows. I'm going to move on to movies that are very nostalgic for me. Halloween,
Tom
obviously.
Atkins' butt.
That
Sorry.
was
Yeah,
really cute.
ew.
I saw like his
Anyways.
consoles. Ew.
Look at his, like, no, like, that guy is not a sex symbol at all. Like, put your goddamn shirt on.
Ew, his back is so disproportionate.
I know.
Anyways, so obviously Hocus Pocus, Addams Family, I'm not even going to talk about. I'm moving on to Wallace and Gromit, Attack of the Were-Rabbit.
I've heard of that, but I've never seen it.
I own it. I will lend it to you. It's so good. I love, what do you call that?
Claymation.
Claymation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
It's
Wallace
British
and Gromit
show,
is-
right?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Movie,
British.
sorry.
British. And it's like about this rabbit, and he's a were-rabbit. It's so funny.
That's cool.
I love that one. And then, other than that, obviously, we're all going to mention Trick or Treat.
Which
Or
one?
Shame on Us.
Which one? Though?
Well-
Which one are you talking about?
Trick or Treat.
Which one?
the-
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. No, I'm talking about Sam.
Okay, like Mike Doherty.
You're talking
Yeah, yeah.
about
No,
Trick
no,
or
no.
Treat.
Okay,
Oh.
P.S. Just so you know, there's 3 trick or
There's
treat.
3.
There's,
I know.
there's trick or treat,
There's
trick
3.
or treat, and trick or treats.
Yeah, I was doing my research and I fucking was like, holy shit, there are actually 3
Yep, there's
trick-or-treat
trick or
Who's
movies.
in the other Trick or Treat?
Okay, so
Ozzy
the other one is
Osbourne.
Oh, I
Ozzy
was like,
Trick or
is it
Treat.
Alice Cooper? No,
Yeah,
it's Ozzy
Yeah,
Osbourne.
it's Ozzy and Gene Simmons. And then there's also a slasher movie from
Called Trick or
1981
Treats.
called
Yeah.
Trick or Treats, and I really want to watch it actually because the cover looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was like
Wait.
a bloody like Halloween bag.
What's the one with the there's like 3 bitches on a bed and they're like naked like and it's a guy with a guitar and it has
That's Slumber Party Massacre Part 2.
Yeah. But dude,
And it's sad that I've actually never seen it, but I just know
I've never seen
that
it.
picture. I know. We need to do a Slumber Party Massacre for an episode for sure, because I've never actually seen it, but I am very like...
yeah, and we need to be all
aware
wearing
of it.
pajamas when we do it.
Clearly.
And be having a fucking slumber party.
And like a pillow fight.
Yeah. You know what? I'm kind of sad that Rocktober Blood actually isn't a Halloween-themed movie, because obviously it kind of like references like October and like it sounds like it would be Halloween-y, but no, there's nothing to do with it at all.
Well, that's lame.
It's a good movie.
You're not done, are you?
No. Well,
Because
here's
I
the
think
thing.
I know what should be on your list.
what the fuck?
Well, continue.
Well, what do you know?
Yeah.
What do you know?
Are you done with movies? Your favorite Halloween
Well, I just
movies?
didn't want to make it too obvious. Now you have me making feel all weird and stuff.
Well, I know you, and I know that you love Ernest Scared Stupid.
Okay, so here's the thing. I
Oh
just
my God.
watched. Okay, so I did just rewatch Ernest Scared Stupid. It was the goddamn funniest fucking thing. Okay, so here's the thing. My friend came over halfway
Fucking
through it,
Ernest.
I've actually never seen
and I
that
said,
one.
Can't.
oh my god, the first 20 minutes, because I was legitimately laughing. I wasn't laughing like, oh, this is cute. I was literally belly laughing the first 20 minutes, and this is me at 30 years old rewatching Ernest Scared Stupid. But then my asshole friend decided to say, yeah, but weren't you really stoned though? And I went, yeah, and he went, maybe that's why you were laughing. So now I'm like, is it really funny, or was I really stoned?
I don't know. I've never
think
seen it.
it's
I do
really
want to watch
funny.
it though,
It's
because I do
really,
like
really
Ernest.
funny.
I feel
Yeah.
like all those Ernest movies are like one of those
But Scared
One of
Stupid
those-
is different.
One of those nostalgic kind of things where, like, you know what, if you watched it when you were younger, then you, like, are like, you know what, this is fucking
But
so funny and I
even
get
this
it.
movie's good.
But no, I don't know. Like, Ernest, I feel like Ernest ruined my life a couple times.
What did he do to you? What did Jim Varney do to you, Morgan?
He's like the creepy uncle you were left alone in a room
okay,
with.
I'll tell you what happened.
what?
So, do you remember back, there was a movie called Blank Check, where it was like,
Oh yeah.
okay, so it was like, I don't know, I might have been like 12 years old when that movie came out, and I remember I went with my friend to the movie theater, and we were like, oh my god, we have to see Blank Check. This movie looks so great. And so we go to the theater, and Blank Check is sold out, and we're like, well, what do we fucking do? They were like, okay, well, like, we'll just buy another ticket to a movie, and we'll just go and sit in the seats, and no one will fucking notice. So we sat in Blank Check, and the ushers, like, found us somehow. I don't know, maybe we were being totally obvious, and they kicked us out, and we had to watch an Ernest movie.
Which one?
I don't remember.
Ernest Goes to Jail?
Maybe.
Ernest Saves Christmas?
Maybe. I don't know. Ben made me watch an Ernest movie recently too, and I was like,
See, I grew up with it, so
and
it's like something
that's
that if
exactly
you grow
what it
up
was.
with,
It's like
yeah.
it was a nostalgic thing for him when he was a kid, and I was like, you know what? I never got into it, and like, yeah, like his weird faces, like
You know what's funny?
he's all like, like
I think I liked his show.
Ernest Goes to Camp.
Oh, I never saw,
saw
that
that
one.
one.
I never saw that
What
one.
do you mean
but,
his
like,
show?
well, he had a show. There was an Ernest TV show.
up. I didn't know.
And remember, he was like, there was one character that was like a mad scientist, and it had like a hand on his forehead that
Yeah.
was like the fingers were moving.
I
like,
remember
back
it.
and forth.
Yep.
Yeah, like he
I
was like a
remember it.
mad scientist. But the How Did This Get Made podcast, they do Ernest Goes to Jail, and that's the one that I know the most. And like I just had it on, like, recorded on a VHS tape. Do you remember that one?
good
Okay,
one.
so you know what's funny in like the How Did This Get Made podcast? Like Paul Scheer's wife, and they had another female guest on that episode, and they're like, did you think that he was strangely hot when he was like the badass? Because he plays like two characters. He's like Ernest, and there's also the guy that looks like Ernest that
Yeah.
they swap. And like, so Ernest is actually in jail, but the bad guy is like out of jail.
Right,
and he's like
right.
all suave with his hair slicked back, and he's like, Jim Varney was like strangely attractive as the
Wow.
bad guy.
He's so asexual to me. That man
Yeah.
has no genitalia.
No.
Gross.
But fun fact about Ernest Scared Stupid, it was the same masks as Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
And you'll notice that
They
because
reused the
That's
mask.
well, I was
weird.
watching
Yeah.
it, and then Yasmina came home and told me that, and I was like, yes, you'll
can
distinctly
tell.
you'll distinctly know which one it is because it's the mask.
He's kind of like got a triangle head.
The taller head mask.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a tall and skinny kind
Yeah.
of butternut squash shaped mask.
Yeah, I want to watch
Yeah.
it. I've never actually seen it.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
So that is it for my list. I just went through it really quickly. Because I do feel like we're all going to have very similar
Yeah, sort of.
lists.
Well, Morgan, you go next.
All right, so I don't know. Today I felt like I had like a hard time like trying to think of Halloween themed movies in particular that I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Night of the Demons, obviously. That's a pretty good like Halloween themed one. Obviously, Angela's sweet fucking Halloween party turns into a fuck fest.
I love that movie so much. Like, we have to do that.
I know,
for
we
an
should.
episode. We have
And it's
to.
been a long time since I've seen it, but it was
I
one
just
of
made
those
Megan
movies-
watch it like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Wait, what I watched?
Night of the Demons. We were really drunk though, so I doubt you remember. We were in the
Linnea
basement.
Quigley, she's so awesome.
duh.
Yeah,
yes,
I
the
love that
lipstick.
movie. Yes, yeah, the lipstick,
Yeah.
and the tit.
Lipstick tit. So amazing.
Yeah, is my makeup okay?
But you know, it was shortly after that we met her.
Yes, yeah, and then we went to go see Linnea Quigley in Toronto.
Yeah, so that movie is fucking awesome. It's like one of those movies when
Fuck yeah, it
we
is.
were younger that like Yasmina, I remember like you and me and my sister, like we watched that movie a lot.
I
And
know.
we reference it so much.
Yeah,
And it's just so fucking silly.
yeah.
Like it's out of control.
I love it.
Well, I'm trying to think. E.T. is a pretty good Halloween theme movie.
Yeah, because
like
they take him trick or treating, and it takes place during
Yeah.
Halloween.
All right.
it's okay.
Almost.
Okay.
It very marginally fits in
like
the category.
again. So like my movies,
You got
I feel
like a
like
55, 60.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
you're
Rotten
lucky. You're
Tomatoes.
lucky.
What about so The Crow? Yeah, that's a Halloween movie. Like they're supposed to get married on Halloween, right?
Yeah, that's
and then
true.
he dies, and
And then
then
shit
it's
goes
so
down on Devil's
No.
It's
Night.
a love story.
Oh my, but are we talking about horror movies or
I
step
can't
movies?
watch it. I can't watch The Crow.
And the soundtrack is like the fucking best
One of the
thing
best fucking
ever.
soundtracks.
Is it just me? Is it just me, or does The Crow? I agree with you, by the way. Or does The Crow not remind you a lot of the Spawn movie in the sense that it was filmed very dark? Like,
Yeah.
it's a very.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't. It's too dark.
You know why
for me.
though? It's because
too
that's
love
the way
it.
the comic was.
I know. I can't. That's why I can't watch
and
The
that's
Crow.
actually what
It's
they
too
strayed away
much.
from in The Crow too. Whereas like the first Crow was filmed in Detroit, and that's what Detroit looks like.
Yeah, I know.
But the second one was filmed in LA, and it was all like yellow tones with like a lot of smoke and fog around it. So they actually tried to make it like completely like different styles. But the comic is like that though. The comic is really inked very
can't-
dark.
Yeah,
I
like
can't
black
deal
and
with
very
dark
black.
Yeah,
and white.
I'm a big
Yeah.
Crow fan, like huge. Like I have a Crow tattoo on my back, so but it is kind of like Halloweeny, like I guess, like because it takes place during Devil's Night.
Yeah. So it's
Many-
it's kind of Halloweeny. Like, sorry, I was laughing because I was thinking of Edward Furlonger and the
Oh God, Wicked Prayer, Crow number 4. Yeah, that's the Crow part 4.
I started laughing.
It's
I
so
was like-
fucking bad. It's
a
got
thought popped
David
into my head.
Boreanaz, like Angel from Buffy,
No.
and Tara Reid. It's
No.
so bad. It's so fucking bad.
Tara
And the
Reid,
third one is awful too.
no.
The third one with that fucking
I'm sorry, The Crow.
Kristen,
3.
yeah,
Rotten to the core.
What's
No
her name?
thanks.
Kristen Dunst is in the third one.
Oh, she's
the second
really
one is bad, but I'm partial to it because I watched it at the time that it came out, so I was like young, and the soundtrack is also good.
Oh,
and
the soundtrack
Iggy Pop.
is so fucking good.
Oh, both soundtracks
It's-
are amazing.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rest of my list is just like weird. Okay, because like Halloween movies to me, like I just feel like, you know, it's like you think of Halloween and you think of Halloween movies, you think of Halloween 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
Yeah,
then that's
like
where
all
I
the
cut
dark-
it off,
yeah,
right?
like all the
but for
dark
me,
horror
like
movies.
Halloween when I was young was always about like the like black and white, like the Mickey Mouse, like all those like Halloween themed cartoons.
Yeah.
And the one that sticks out the most to me is the Silly Symphony skeleton dance.
I think I know what that is.
Yeah, it was just like a short. I think it's about 6 minutes long. It's from 1929, and I actually rewatched it again today. And I know it sounds weird, but like I'm a grown ass woman, and I'm sitting at work and I'm watching. I'm actually like laughing out loud. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just like a cartoon about a graveyard, and there's like an owl there, and he's like hooting away, and there's a skeleton that pops up, and he's like,
That sounds awesome.
he's like, fuck you, owl, and he pulls his head off and he throws it at the owl, and then all his feathers pop off, and he's like a chicken, and he's like, "Rah!" So it's funny, and then all of a sudden the skeletons are all dancing.
Oh,
and
the
think I've
Disney!
seen-
yeah, the Silly Symphony, yeah,
Yeah.
the skeleton dance.
I just watched
I think
that
I've
too.
seen the skeletons dancing. That sounds
And
familiar.
they're all
Yeah, and then like one of them gets really tall, and then they get really small, and like they're
It's the best
dancing.
thing
Like
ever.
that to me is like
That was made in the
it's
30s.
yeah, it was in 1929 that one was.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's all about what like Halloween was to me when I was a kid. Like I remember like Thriller would come on TV. They would always play Thriller in the 80s. Like man. Like whatever. Like it didn't matter. Like
have you ever seen the Bollywood Thriller?
Yes. Oh my god.
It's so fucking funny.
Girly man. But then they would play like the Mickey Mouse. Like I think what is it called? Like the Mad Doctor, which is also another Halloween Mickey Mouse theme, like from the 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
And then they would play like the Skeleton Dance, and that shit just like. I love it so much. It's so evil and like spooky and it's just cute and I don't know, it's funny.
That's awesome.
And then the rest of my list is like, okay, I love Unsolved Mysteries so much.
Oh, we've talked about this
Oh
before.
my fucking god. Like I know, I'm not kidding you. Like I love it. Like
it's your life.
It seriously is. I have the box set. I paid like $400 for it.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, seriously.
But legit?
Yeah. And I don't know, when I was a kid, like the song, it fucked my emotions up. Like, I would watch the show, and then I would have to go to bed and try to think of other songs to not have that theme song play in my head so I could fucking sleep.
Yeah.
Like, and it would be Whitney Houston songs, actually, which sounds really fucking weird. But they have the Unsolved Mysteries Halloween episode that they aired in 1988. I think it was, like, October 26th or whatever. Was the very first feature that they ever did about ghosts, and I actually have the full episode on my DVDs as one of the ghost things. And they did like a few different like ghost stories or whatever. Like the Queen Mary ghost one is the one that I remember the most, just about a haunted ship, I guess. A bunch of people died on it.
I think I remember that
You'll remember it. Like
I remember like one episode with a haunted ship, but it was like a Navy ship.
That's
and,
it.
Like,
That's
oh
it.
my god! It's so scary.
Yeah.
And like they heard like little kids like
footsteps. Yeah.
Footsteps like splashing. Oh my god!
Yeah.
I can't believe I fucking remember that.
That one especially, like I just love Unsolved Mysteries so much. Like I still like every once in a while I'm like, I just need to watch it.
Yeah.
And I kind of have like a crush on like Robert Stack. He's like creepy old man crush.
Yeah.
But
we've got our creepy old man crushes.
Yeah,
Tom
like,
Atkins.
No, my mom for fucking Christmas one year bought me pictures of Robert Stack, like signed pictures off of eBay. I have a signed
best mom ever.
I have a signed photograph of Robert Stack, and there was another picture that she gave me that was like a beefcake picture from like the 50s where he's like in like a like little like Speedo and
really?
stuff. Yeah.
Oh my god, I need to see
I don't
this.
have frames for them. Like I've actually kind of have them hidden away. I'm like, what do I do with these things? I'm so ashamed.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it for my list. I actually had Sightings on here as well. Which, do you remember the show Sightings? It was on Friday nights on Fox. It was the X-Files and then Unsolved Mysteries and then Sightings.
Oh,
that was my Friday night like. Growing up, it was always like
I do remember X-Files being
shit.
on Friday nights though, because I remember always like having like sleepovers and watching X-Files and not being able to fucking sleep because I was so scared of Eugene Toombs.
Totally. But yeah, Sightings was another creepy show about like UFOs and ghosts and shit, and they also had a Halloween episode that I really enjoyed.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's it.
Well, so I'll just go over some of my favorite Halloween-themed movies, TV shows, and then we'll get back to Halloween 3. Right now in the movie, the guys in the business suits have kidnapped the girl, so now Tom Atkins has followed them and is trying to...
He's at the Silver Shamrock.
Yeah.
Did you know that...
You sound like a sex bed.
I was trying to sound like a Silver Shamrock.
No.
It's actually a milk factory. Did you know that? It's a milk factory.
What, this factory?
Yeah, the factory that they chose, they just put the sign up and it was actually a milk factory.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, my favorite, definitely, like, Night of the Demons was definitely on my list. But yeah, Trick or Treat, the Mike Dougherty Trick or Treat, fabulous fucking movie. Like, after that movie came out, I actually, like, realized that I was like, why don't they make more Halloween-themed horror movies? Like, there aren't that many, because when I was actually doing my research and looking through
hard
Wikipedia,
to find them.
there
That's
are
why my
not
list is
that
so
many.
small.
There's not that many. Like, there's more, like, children, like, family movies based around Halloween, but no real horror movies. And after he made that movie, I just, like, instantly instantly like just felt like, you know, like
It's
gratitude.
It's the best script written in the past 10
It's
years.
so
I don't
good.
give a fuck what anyone says.
I totally agree. All the stories that interlock with each other,
Brilliant.
I love it when
That's
movies
so
do
much
that.
skill.
I love it when
lot
anthologies
of
do
skill.
that. Yeah, fucking great fucking movie. But yeah, so the actual pilot of Tales from the Dark Side is a Halloween episode.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, so
Oh,
the
is
pilot
it?
for Tales of the Dark Side is called Trick or Treat, and it was written by George A. Romero.
Oh.
So that's a good one. I'm a big fan of that. And it came out last year, still very popular. I've noticed, like, on my Instagram feed and stuff, but Tales of Halloween. So Tales of Halloween was another good with a couple rad segments that came out. But we just actually, Morgan hasn't seen Tales of Halloween, and we just made her watch the last segment.
The fucking
with the
jack-o'-lantern.
pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern that like
shit
bites
was
off
out of
people's
control.
heads. Like, that was hilarious. I fucking loved it.
That was
and
out of
also, if
control.
you're a big fan of Tales of Halloween, Fright Rags just released a line of shirts that are Tales from Halloween, and they're fucking fabulous.
I feel like I just need to interrupt you for like
Go
3
ahead.
seconds because speaking of anthologies, I know Yasmina and I watched Holidays, which is on Netflix, and it's really good.
Oh, yeah.
So I know
I
that
was gonna
Yasmina
say something.
is going to talk about it. I'm going to briefly say from the Diary of Megan Stinson that the Halloween episode, the Halloween portion of Holidays, is the worst
Piece
fucking
of
the worst
shit.
piece of shit. They hired the fat ugly man from that eating
Kevin
show. Kevin Smith directed
Oh, right.
it.
Sorry. Yeah.
But from that eating,
Epic Mealtime.
epic mealtime bullshit, worst segment
you
of
serious?
the film.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so
I'll
that's
let Yasmina
actually
let her
like you
go
read
on.
my mind.
Sorry,
Like
I didn't
that
know
was
I
like
gonna do
actually next on my list. Like, I have other ones that I want to bring up that
You
I
go
love,
and pull it
but the
apart,
one
'cause it needs to be pulled
I
apart.
have to bring this up. I have to
Worst
fucking say,
ever.
like, Holidays was such a great
was good.
film.
Valentine's Day,
So, very,
great.
very,
Mother's
very
Day,
good. Oh my god.
great. Easter,
St.
great.
Patrick's. The St. Patrick's one was fucked.
They were all great.
With that woman, she like gives birth to a snake.
Oh.
Like, it's fucking amazing. But yeah, so I was
Unbelievable.
so excited, like, for the Halloween segment, right? Kevin Smith wrote and directed it. It has nothing to do with Halloween. It has nothing to do with it. It takes place on Halloween
about
night.
porn
But basically, it's just it's like, the segment is about
Sex.
the guy from Epic Mealtime is like a pimp but for webcam girls, and
Oh,
like he
that
keeps
sounds
these 3
gross.
webcam girls like locked in his
not
house
good.
and makes them do stuff, right? And they can't escape. Blah blah blah. One of the girls is Kevin Smith's daughter. And
Ew!
basically, yeah.
Ew! Can we just rewind? Kevin Smith cast his daughter in a part where she plays a fucking prostitute.
Yeah, a webcam girl.
Prostitute.
Yeah, so basically, he's mean, and they basically just take revenge on him, and they like attach like a car battery to like a fucking vibrator and stick
It's
it
not
up
as
his
good as you
ass,
think it is. It's not
and
as good as you think it
like and turn it on, and it like basically it's just like
Which
annihilating
sounds great,
his
but it's not
butthole.
great.
No,
But it, like,
no.
it sounds like funny, right? But what the fuck does that have to do with Halloween?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Halloween. Like, Kevin Smith, you know what? Fuck off. Seriously, I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of Mallrats, Clerks, like Dogma,
You've had your time.
but like that fucking seriously actually pissed me off. Why did you choose or whatever get offered the Halloween segment, and that's
Of a
what you
horror
did?
movie.
It has nothing to do with Halloween. Like, that seriously royally pissed me off.
I remember
and
when
you know
Yaz
what?
and I watched it, we were so stoked for the Halloween segment.
And I was like,
And we're
what?
like, and we're like, Kevin Smith, it's Kevin Smith, it's gonna be gold.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome.
because Tusk was awesome.
Tusk was great.
Like, Tusk was hilarious, but you know what? His new movie, Yoga Hosers, I've heard bad things about it.
Yoga hosers?
Yeah, it's kind of like he's doing a trilogy. Tusk was the first in
sounds
the
rotten.
trilogy. So Yoga Hosers
was
is
great.
the second part of the trilogy. They don't really have anything to do with each other story wise, but the recurring characters, like Johnny Depp is his character is the private investigator,
Okay.
is also in Yoga Hosers, and it's his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter. Remember
Yeah.
in Tusk in the convenience store?
Yeah, yeah.
It takes place in the convenience
Yeah.
store, and it's basically these like demonic little fucking guys show up and they have to fucking kill them or something. But I don't I'm trying, like, honestly, like, every time I'm like, I should watch it, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it because it looks really stupid, and like it's getting bad reviews. But anyways, I digress. Fuck that segment. Nothing to do with Halloween. Anyways, moving on. So I just wanted to bring up some like family-oriented Halloween movies because there are so many, and like
There's too many.
love horror movies, but I also love kids movies too. Like I love Pixar movies.
Clearly.
Like
Goosebumps, what's up?
Yeah, fuck yeah, Goosebumps. Are You Afraid of the Dark? But yeah, the big one for me, my favorite one for sure, is the Halloween tree. So the Halloween tree. I have it tattooed on my leg.
Ray
Bradbury.
Bradbury.
I'm obsessed with the book. Like when I was a kid, I used to read the book, and then the movie would always play on the Saturday morning of like Halloween weekend, like Saturday morning cartoons. Leonard Nimoy. Why can't I say his name?
Nimoy.
Nimrod.
I know,
Nimrod.
Leonard Nimoy.
Wine.
Did the
wine, that's why.
Yeah. He does the voice of the creepy guy that takes the kids on the like magical Halloween journey. But I love the Halloween tree. You saw Casper in theaters.
Yeah.
That's because you love Devin Sawa, right?
Everyone loved Devin Sawa back in the 80s, early 90s, but not anymore.
Yeah, fuck that.
I
Loser.
also, just really quickly, last mention of my favorite Halloween related TV shows or movies. Treehouse of Horrors, obviously The Simpsons. Like every October, I watch all of them. I love the Shinning episode and the Mr. Burns Dracula. Actually, I just mentioned this to Megan the other day. I watched the Shinning episode the other day, and I love when Marge radios to Chief Wiggum, and she's just like, help, my husband is gone crazy, and he's trying to kill us all, over. And Chief Wiggum's like, oh, well, I'm glad that's over. It's so fucking good. And, nobody does Halloween better than Roseanne. Pretty much, in real life, she loves Halloween. So whenever it was a Halloween episode on the show, it was incredible. And Fright Rags just recently released this special limited edition Halloween Roseanne shirt, and it was only for a couple days. But it was actually pretty sweet. But yeah, of course, we all remember the show Erie, Indiana. That was a good one. Same guy that is in Hocus Pocus.
Great show.
Yeah. Actually, you want to hear something funny about that guy? I was listening to Adam Green's podcast, and Danielle Harris was on the show, and she used to date him in real life.
No way.
And
weird.
so they were teenagers. When Hocus Pocus came out, they were teenagers, right? And he cheated on her with the girl in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, the hot girl in the movie, Vanessa Shaw, I think is her name. He cheated on Danielle Harris with her. Which I thought was kind of funny.
My brother likes your yabos.
Yeah. But yeah, so back to Halloween 3. And so we would just watch the scene where the family's son's pumpkin head just turned into bugs and snakes.
And
that's a really morbid scene.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So the second list, I know I talked earlier about, I said we have a few lists. I'm just going to real quick go over our second list because this scene's about to get real. We're going to talk about movies that we've watched recently. Yasmina and I and Owen, the sound tech, we all just watched The Haunting.
Oh, yeah!
Owen Wilson.
I already forgot about it. Oh, my God. That movie's so bad.
And it's my fault because they were like, let's watch 13 Ghosts. And I was like, no, that movie scares me because it genuinely does. 13 Ghosts scares me.
I like it. I like the 13 Ghosts remake.
So I was like, no, I don't want to watch a scary movie. I want to watch a not scary movie. Well, little did I know this movie was not scary. Not.
It's so
scary.
Fucking bad. The CGI, it was at the time when CGI was very popular and cheap. And they didn't put a lot of effort in the art of it.
Yeah.
And the CGI in that movie is so fucking bad. But I thought it was funny that while we were watching it, I've seen Scary Movie 2 a million times.
Right,
so I didn't know that it was actually based off of the Haunting with Catherine Zeta-Jones. And so I knew what was going to happen. But it was just funny watching all the scenes in The Haunting and being in my mind thinking of the scene in Scary Movie 2 and laughing my ass off. But yeah, that movie sucks.
So for those of you out there who are also Stephen King fans, I know you're probably out there going, oh, well, I mean, actually, this is pretty obscure information. So if you're a Stephen King fan and you're a hardcore Stephen King fan, you will know this, that he started writing the screenplay for that movie and then decided that he was going to take out clips from it, take out a big portion of that screenplay and use it for Rose Red. Rose Red was his made-for-TV movie, like It was a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah.
Rose Red didn't do as well, but it was about a haunted house. It literally takes from The Haunting.
Yeah. I've never seen Rose Red. I heard it was scary.
It's really good, Yaz, but when you watch it, you'll be like, holy fuck, it's literally The Haunting. Like, it's the same scenes, it's the same characters,
but it's probably better, though.
It's better.
The Haunting was so bad. That movie was so fucking bad. Like, Owen Wilson, he's like a little kid in it. He's like, hey guys, so like,
bad.
Yeah, that movie was terrible. Well, me and Morgan went to go see the new Blair Witch.
We did.
And I enjoyed it, but it still doesn't grasp the nostalgia factor of the first one, but I like the way, the direction that they went with it, and I do really like that you get to see very quick glimpses of the witch, and she was fucking scary looking.
Yeah, totally.
Like the first time we
creepy.
saw her, like, and it was just a really quick flash of her, like, in the trees. I was like in the theater, like, I remember I was just like, ah! Like, she's fucking creepy looking for sure, but you only see it like shaky cam, right? Like, it's not like a focused picture, like resonated picture of her or anything like that. But like, it was okay. Like, I thought that, like, if anybody hasn't seen it, just like, spoiler alert, like, I won't go into too much detail, but one girl gets something in her foot and it gets all infected and pus comes out and it's really cool, and I totally assumed that it was gonna go in kind of like an Evil Dead direction. Like, I thought that,
or like she would get possessed
or something, but nothing happened to her. I was like, oh
yeah, it's like,
that was like a missed opportunity.
Wandered off into the woods and then died. The end.
Yeah. But the parts when they find the house at the end of the movie, like that, like, Megan wouldn't have been able to handle it.
So let me ask you, yeah, I know, I probably couldn't. They came back and Yaz was like, no, you couldn't handle that. But let me ask you guys, speaking of, because I know we've talked a lot about remakes, and when you're remaking something and it's a continuation, or you're remaking something and it's a direct play-by-play, what is the new Blair Witch?
It's a sequel.
Well, yeah, it's a continuation because...
It's also, bear in mind, pretending like the second part never happened.
Oh, fuck! No, I love the second part!
The second one is actually pretty good. Yeah, there's like a witch orgy.
It's the best!
Yeah. But it's like, you just have to think that the second one never happened.
Okay. Yeah, because, like, in it, it's like, there's, like, the guy who's, like, the brother of one of the girls who disappeared,
Heather.
and he's like going.
It's Heather's brother.
Yeah, so he's going to like search for her and like see if he can find out more about her story and like maybe what happened.
Somebody uploads a video on YouTube that's like in the Blair Witch, like in the Blair Woods or whatever, and there's like people screaming and it's all shaky cam and everything, but he sees this video on YouTube and swears that Heather is in it, and he's like, oh my god, there's a chance that she's still out there, so we have to go investigate. Like, it's my sister. He's like, I know that she's probably dead or it's been 20 years or whatever, but like that video shows that it could be her. So that's what he does. Like, so they go and they meet the people that uploaded the video and get them to take them in the woods to look for his sister, and it's just like the first one, how every night like scarier things happen. But I still think that the first one was scarier, like just for like the nostalgic factor, like the whole thing being in black and white. Well, no, not the whole thing's in black and white, but like
a lot of it, yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I don't know, but the part,
night vision,
yeah, and like the whole thing with the girl with the foot, like she stepped on something and like when her foot was infected and it was all pus, like I thought the special effects were really cool when her foot was all
it was
pussy,
like moving and
but then nothing
and
bad
stuff
happened to her, and I was like, come on, really? Like, that was a missed opportunity, but it was worth it to watch though.
Yeah, like I thought, to be honest, I kind of thought the best part of the whole movie was the scene where they like kind of, the one guy like comes back and she's in the basement and like she gets dropped into the like, I don't know, it's like a crawl space.
Yeah, it's like a crawl space.
Like,
it's in the trailer when she's like crawling through the mud.
Like a sewer.
That part's
and it was
very
suffocating because she kept throwing, like they're all holding cameras and she was throwing her camera and it was like filming her as she's like crawling through. So it, like you could see that like the person was actually crawling through this tiny little hole that was just like wet and like roots from plants are like hanging down. It was a suffocating kind of.
It was kind of like The Descent. Yeah, like, that part made me think of The Descent. Yeah, it was good though. Like, it was worth watching. It just like yeah, it was okay. Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah, but also speaking of like remakes and stuff like that, I fucking forced myself to watch the Cabin Fever remake. It's not even like, I don't even know what the fuck to call it. Like, it's like it's just the same movie but worse. It's like just the shittier version with shittier actors.
Why did it happen?
No point. There's no fucking point. It was so bad. Like, it's like, the script was word for word. It's like they hired, like, less paid actors. And, like, Eli Roth and the other guy, like, were the same people that made it. Like, they decided to do this together again.
Why would they waste their money and their time
I don't understand. Like, it was honestly like the lesser version of Cabin Fever. Like, it was just the actors made it terrible. The guy, remember in the first Cabin Fever, like the guy from Detroit Rock City who plays the stoner guy?
The funny one.
The guy that they got to be the new one, it like, he was just fucking annoying. Like, he was making me mad. Like, it's like, this shtick doesn't work on you at all. And remember the character that Eli Roth plays? The, like, guy who shows up with all the weed? That character was played by a fucking guy that did not sell that character at all. He wasn't funny. He was just annoying. And one last thing, but the guy, one of my favorite actors, actually, Giuseppe Andrews, who is the bass player in Detroit Rock City, who plays the sheriff on the bicycle in the original Cabin Fever, that role was played by a woman. And she's, like, trying to be creepy. But, like, what I love about Giuseppe in the first one is that he's funny. Because he's like, oh, yeah, like, you got a party. Yeah, like, he's like, you guys partying? Like, you guys want some beers? Like, in the remake, it's a woman. And the way that she's doing it, like, seems like she's, like, trying to rape them with her words. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you were just fucking annoying, dumb bitch.
Right.
It was so bad that I had to walk out of my house. I went outside to take a break from it, and I walked down the street to get a coffee, and I came back, and it was still on, and I was like, this is bullshit.
Like, why?
Like, it was just completely pointless, because it's like, it's not like somebody else took the project from Eli Roth and did it. Like,
he did it. He decided to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I can't remember his name. The other guy who also co-wrote the original with him, like, they both decided to do it together, Randy Perlstein. And I'm just like, it was just directed by some Travis guy, but they both, like, wrote it, because they already wrote it. So they just took the script and then just directed it with different, like, shittier actors. Like, fuck. I just can't even emphasize, like, how bad it was. Like, I don't understand what the fuck the point was.
Boomerang.
Yeah.
Lame. I haven't watched it, but... I don't think that I will bother.
No, don't. Don't watch it. It was stupid. Your turn.
What?
Martyrs.
Oh, shit!
I know, I was waiting.
Oh, my God. Well, okay, I guess, like, to segue into it, like... I don't know, we've all seen Martyrs before, have we not? Yes. I think it's one of the best and most thought-provoking horror movies that I've seen ever, really. And I really appreciate the original because it's just so, I don't know, it's so thought-provoking and different, but the remake is just, I don't know, it's just so Americanized that I feel like it was completely pointless. I remember reading a little bit about what the director had said after the fact, saying that they thought that the original Martyrs was too, like, nihilistic and, like, had, like, a negative view on
Who said
like,
that?
The director of the new Martyrs movie.
It's not a negative view, it's a realistic view of death.
He was like, well, it's too nihilistic, so, like, we just wanted to make it more, like, you know, positive at the end and shit.
It's not a positive.
That's not what it's about.
Oh, we're getting all worked up. No,
I'm gonna shit in a box and send it to him.
Yeah, so I don't know, like, going into it, I was not expecting a lot because, like, I'm not really a huge fan of
Americanized versions.
Yeah, remakes, especially Americanized versions of remakes of movies that are, you know,
flawless?
Yeah,
flawless.
Classic. That's exactly what it is.
Instant classic.
Yeah. And so, like, I thought up until maybe, like, maybe a quarter or so of into the movie, I was like, okay, like, it seems like there's a lot of similar, I mean, obviously the plot is the same, similar dialogue, even some of the lines, I was like, oh, well, that was taken exactly from the movie. So I was like, okay, up until about a quarter of the way through, it's like, okay, this is following exactly what the movie is. And then it kind of takes a weird turn. I don't want to be, like, too spoiler alert-ish, but, like,
no one should watch
whatever.
it anyway.
Don't spoil it.
Don't waste your time. Okay, so in the original movie, there's, like, the two girls, one of them escaped when she was young, and so she's like mentally scarred, and she has like a revenge thing, and she wants to go back and find the family. And in the movie, like, she dies like 20 minutes into it, like she kills herself, and it's like, okay, then her friend has to kind of like figure everything out and takes over, and then the rest of the fucking movie happens. But in the Americanized version, both girls live.
Bullshit.
Which is weird. And then the other girl that that she finds, like, remember when she goes into the basement and then there's another girl that's like chained up? She finds this girl and she lives too. And then it's all like, ooh, let's rescue them all. And then everybody gets caught, and then the other girl escapes again, and then she like makes it out, and then it's like, oh, now I have to find a way to like make sure that everybody escapes and all this stuff.
That has like nothing to do with
and then
the original.
She goes back into the house like with a shotgun and stuff, and is like pointing at everybody, and is like basically like, this is a heist kind of thing, like, she manages to...
But the point of the characters, that character and those characters specifically in the original movie, the point of them are to look meek and tired, and weathered and put down, and now she's coming with a shotgun like she's the hero. There aren't heroes in the movie. There are no heroes in that movie.
No,
they're like being tested, like
they're
for a
weak,
purpose,
and they're tired.
Like the whole purpose of the fucking like characters, like the old people in the fucking original, is to like find out what happens like at the light, at the end of the tunnel, and like what happens when you die and stuff like that. It's like, does that even like, do they even talk about
martyrs?
that?
No, martyrs don't finish strong.
They do.
That's what
they
the definition
take,
of a martyr
like
is.
the whole like the book thing where she's like, look at the eyes, like that part is in there, but it's like the Americanized version sort of just takes away from the whole like the true idea behind the movie, and then it just makes it like about like violence and like saving people and stuff like that.
And also, like, the fucking American one was only made 7 years after the French one.
Not long enough.
Like, fuck right off.
You need time to digest that story.
Dude, I know. That fucking... I actually, after Morgan told me about it, and the fact that they didn't include the character with the mask, like, that had that chained up mask on her face. That character wasn't even in this version. Like, they just took her out.
Best part of the
movie. Like, fuck you. Fuck
Seriously.
off.
Seriously. And I know that, actually, I'm not too sure if we've talked about this before, but Yasmina and I both have a really soft spot in our hearts for the Ring remake, because that is an Americanized version.
I think it's the exception.
In our opinion, Yasmina and I both agreed that in our opinion, it trumps the original.
I think it's the only exception.
And not only is it scarier, the cinematography is better.
Yeah.
It's actually filmed more professionally. It's a better made film.
It's scarier.
If any of our listeners are actually into the cinematography of films and the soundtrack of films and not just the storyline, then you will appreciate the remake of The Ring more than you would appreciate the original if you appreciate cinematography.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's like the one exception of like the Americanized version being better is The Ring, in my opinion. Like, I just like Ringu is kind of boring.
I don't want, people are probably going to come back with this and that about that, but you're entitled to your opinion, and that's that. Real quick, I just watched Tremors 3.
I've never seen it.
So let me fill you in.
Is it AMC?
AMC.
AMC does like the Fear Fest for the month of October.
So Tremors 3, what happens is they grow wings and they start to fly.
That's hilarious.
And they call them, they're not called Tremors.
Graboids?
Or no, they're called Shriekers.
Shriekers?
And I wonder if it's something to do with rights or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
But in the third one, they call them Shriekers, and they fly, and it's CGI. Did you guys ever see the Langoliers when Stephen King came out with the Langoliers? Yeah. How bad the CGI was? So it's bad CGI like that. It's almost like Dreamcatchers, where the CGI was so bad. It's worse.
Yeah.
The CGI is worse. They're like literally flying tremors. They have bat wings. Bat wings.
So I guess they don't even really need the ground anymore.
Well, the reason that they came up with for the third one, the reason that they fly is so that the mothers can transport the eggs of their young to a safe spot.
What is safer than being under the ground?
Apparently,
like in fucking
on the
space.
mountains.
That doesn't make any sense.
It is the worst goddamn movie I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. Thank you, AMC, for ruining.
I'm sorry that you wasted your. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm sorry that you wasted your time. That sucks because the first Tremors is like fun. It's a good movie. I
Plus
like it.
Kevin Bacon's ass.
Yeah. Hello. Everybody loves
Kevin
it.
Bacon.
Bacon.
So yeah, we're nearing the end of Halloween 3 right now. So he captured the girl. I always forget her name, and she was taken and turned into an android. So she's trying to kill him. I like how all the androids have like yellow toxic ooze that comes out.
Did you know that
of
it's
them.
just
Almost in
orange
every
juice?
movie, though.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Trivia. It's orange juice.
That's hilarious.
But that's very similar to what's his name in Aliens.
Yeah.
He had that
Bishop
milky
has the weird,
discharge,
like,
that milky discharge.
yeah.
It's like they need fluid, but it's not going to be blood. It's going to be some sort of weird other thing.
That's
I like
funny.
how her head's still like looking around.
Yeah. Well, speaking of just, I don't know, like the whole thing about Halloween 3 and has nothing to do with Michael Myers, like fucking rampage, you know, like just a little like history on that. Like during the making of Halloween 3, like John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, like they had intended on continuing with the Halloween themed anthology for the remaining sequels. Like Halloween 2, I feel like they wanted it to end with Halloween 2. Like the Michael Myers story was supposed to end at Halloween 2, and then they had this idea to do like just Halloween themed movies for the remaining sequels. But obviously, like when this movie came out, a lot of people fucking hated it. Like they made profit at the box office, but it wasn't very
like the
good.
smash hit
like
that they were
made
expecting.
it was the least made horror movie budget of not budget, sorry, like box office of the year. Like I think 1982 was also Poltergeist and Friday 13th Part 3.
Big year.
Big year.
Big
So
year.
like it was a flop kind of. But yeah, so like they intended the rest of the movies to be a lot like Night Gallery and like Twilight Zone. So it was each going to be like different new stories, but all occurring on Halloween, which I still think would have been a really good movie. But yeah, this one it was disappointing, I guess, like for a lot of people. It had poor reviews. So because of that, the franchise brought Michael Myers back. Like people bitched and fans like just wanted Michael Myers back, and he came back for the fourth movie 6 years after this movie came out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, so it was 6 years after Season of the Witch came out is when the fourth one came out. And I like the fourth one. Like 4 and 5 are really good. Like the two with Donald Pleasance and Danielle Harris.
Yeah.
Part 6 is pretty bad with Paul Rudd. Do you remember that one?
Oh, I don't
Return.
even know. I don't even know that I remember that.
Yeah, it's pretty
But
bad.
Paul Rudd's all right.
Yeah, he hasn't aged at all.
No,
like it's
he's
fucking
amazing.
crazy. Like he actually looks exactly the same. But yeah, that one is pretty bad, but not as bad as Halloween Resurrection.
Oh,
Because Halloween Resurrection is
rotten.
so fucking bad. Like I can't believe how fucking bad that movie is. And like H2O is even like not that bad. Like compared to Resurrection.
Compared to Resurrection. Let's compare it to Resurrection, shall we? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it on its own does not have have a leg to stand on.
It's definitely like Resurrection is the worst, and then Part 6, Curse of Michael Myers, is the second worst for sure, in my opinion. But yeah, obviously like Season of the Witch, like over the past 3 decades, it gained a cult status, and more fans like appreciated it and loved it even more and more. And like there was like 2 different Blu-ray, like Shout Factory I think like released like a special edition like Blu-ray edition that has like all like the commentary and everything, and like they talk about it a lot in the Halloween documentary, like the 25 years of Michael Myers documentary. But yeah, I like that they went this direction. It's unfortunate that at the time people obviously had expectations and it didn't meet those expectations, so they had to bring Michael Myers back. So it's kind of like it's a weird situation because like I still admire Michael Myers and I still like part 4 and 5 and 6 kind of, but I also really wish to see like what the other ones it would like what
really
the other stories would have come
Dick Warlock.
to. There's your boyfriend.
Dick
Warlock.
Yeah, it really would have been interesting to see where it could have gone, because I think
well, it's like the sorry to interrupt, the Pumpkinhead story.
Yeah.
Like how Pumpkinhead was supposed to be like the 6 sin demons with Pumpkinhead like charging the gang, right? You know what I mean? And it never happened.
Yeah.
And like who knows what would have became of the like Halloween sequels if like people weren't so fucking opinionated.
Yeah, and
in the 80s.
if John Carpenter was involved in all of them, like at least each one would probably be interesting and it would have his seal of approval, right?
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of the poster. Like I love that fucking poster of like the three, like the trick or treaters with like they're wearing the 3 masks.
Yep.
It was actually designed by Ed Riviera, and he was actually nominated for a Saturn Award for that poster, for the
That's
artwork.
really cool.
But lost to the E.T. poster.
No, well, fuck E.T.
Which is like so boring compared
That's
to this
the
poster.
lamest poster
Like it's just the
ever.
moon with like E.T. on the bike,
Isn't the
right?
Halloween poster as well? It's got like 3 kids on the bottom, and on top it's got that
It's the witch mask, but
jack-o'-lantern?
it's like enlarged. It's
witch
like
mask?
Yeah, it's like it's them
I
on the
thought
hill. And it's the witch mask that's like zoomed out like crazy.
Oh, I thought there was a jack-o'-lantern, but it was pulled. It was.
That's
almost
probably one that you
pulled
saw.
down. Yeah,
For sure. There's probably a few versions,
True.
but yeah, like this is still a pretty good movie. I'm a big fan of it. But so this is the end of the episode, and I would just like to
bye, fans.
Okay, well there's a couple things we could talk about. So there is a new Halloween movie.
Yeah, we should probably end
being
with this
made.
note.
Yeah, so it's actually, I'm not sure if they landed on the 3D thing, but it was originally supposed to be called like Halloween 3D. So this has been a project in the works for the past, like 8 years or something?
It seems like it's been like a long time.
Like
and
they
then
started working on it in
there was
2009,
one,
I think.
and then it stopped. It was supposed to come out in 2012, but then it didn't come out. So I don't know, did they actually make a movie and then they just never released it?
No. They probably had to go through like a bunch of different like scripts and like I think they New Line or something doesn't own the Halloween franchise anymore, so then they got bought out by like a different fucking distribution company, much like the Crow remake, like it keeps jumping around with different like distro companies and everything, and basically, so now the new Halloween movie is has a director attached to it. It's Patrick Lussier, who is actually really, really good friends with Wes Craven, and he was the editor for most of Wes Craven's movies. Yeah, and he has also directed the My Bloody Valentine remake.
That's cool.
So he actually has attached Tom Atkins as a lead role in the movie.
Are you?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, so Tom Atkins will be in the new Halloween
back
movie
to tweak nipples and drink
much,
some fucking alcohol. Woo!
Yeah, so that's all we know so far is Patrick Lussier is attached to direct. John Carpenter will be a producer and a creative consultant, and Tom Atkins as a major lead role. And I think I read an interview with John Carpenter saying that he is going to make it the scariest Halloween ever.
We'll hold you to that, you motherfucker.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. So, I'm going to read a couple Amazon reviews. First of all, I just want to say that I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but there are 666 reviews.
Oh, really?
On Halloween 3.
Oh,
like, I was like, is that on
perfect.
purpose or like, I don't know, that's kind of a weird coincidence.
It's too perfect.
I know, like I was like, Amazon.ca, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, 666 reviews. I was like, what?
It's kind of perfect.
Okay, so, I only picked 2, one bad and one good, because I found that the reviews were so 50-50. There was like the haters and the lovers.
Well, yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah,
like,
so it's
some
just like some people are
it's
like
great.
way too sensitive on the whole Michael Myers not being involved in it, and it's just like, it's just a character, he's not real. And then there's people that are just like, it's awesome. So, okay, so I'm going to read the first one, which is a negative review.
Let's do it.
All right, so it has
excited.
1 star, and the guy didn't leave his name. Actually, both of these are just Amazon customer.
Lame.
Yeah, so here it is. Add to cart. No. This movie made me want to scrape turd-shaped photons off of the back of my retinas.
Wow.
Anyone who praised this dog pile is either struck by the popularity of the title or saw it when they were 5 years old and are still trying to hold on to a simpler time in their life. The plot was paper thin, and the acting made me want to wear one of those silver shamrock masks in hope my life would end at any second while watching this shameful reminder that anyone can make a movie.
Wow.
I just like how the title is Add to Cart. No!
That was a brilliant review.
Yeah.
Thank you,
really
Amazon
good.
customer.
Yeah.
Review number 2. So this is the positive one that got 5 stars. And this one is, be sure to wear your masks. This movie is entirely underrated. I will admit the first Halloween is the best, but if you knew it didn't have Mr. Myers in it and watched it then you would be more pleased with this film.
Yeah.
A film that makes you think, what if this could really happen?
Exactly. Why do I feel like this is a woman? For some reason, I feel like
oh my god, I totally thought that too. And I was like, yeah, people are going to somehow magically transport a piece of the Stonehenge to North America and put it in chips and masks that'll make you turn into snakes and bugs. That might happen. I will give it 5 stars for some of the cinematography. I like the scene after the boy's face explodes with snakes and such, and Tom Atkins is watching. Then it fades to black. Then you hear doo-da, 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 happy, happy Halloween. And it shows kids from all states buying those dreaded masks. A must-see. Doo-da, 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 doo-da.
Those are good reviews. Both of those are good reviews. Even though one of them's bad, they're both good.
Yeah, for sure,
Add
definitely.
to cart. No.
No. But yeah, so I will take this time to give a shout out to a couple other podcasts. We love 2-Day Rental. Those
We do.
guys,
2-Day Rental!
all their fucking posts are hilarious. I love commenting back and forth on you guys' posts. And also shout out to our buddies in Say You Love Satan.
Yes, I love Satan.
Also doing Halloween 3 for their podcast for Halloween week because they're celebrating their 1-year anniversary.
Yeah,
of being a
congratulations!
podcast. Happy anniversary! Say you love Satan! And I think that's it for me. Do you have anything else to plug?
Nope.
Your butt?
Just my butt.
Just your butt.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say. No.
I guess have a very happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Praise Satan, eat lots of candy. We're going to be
so
partying
fucked
at our party this weekend. Me and Morgan, do you guys want to reveal our costumes? I guess by the time this episode is released, like, there'll be pictures out, but
Yeah, we should probably just say
well,
it, 'cause
I'm
it's gonna
being Sean Connery from Zardos. And no one is going to know who I am, but that's okay because I will know.
I'll know.
You'll know. You'll
Doesn't
know.
matter.
Yeah.
And what are you being, Morgan?
Oh, I'm gonna be fucking Manos, the Hands of Fate.
Your boyfriend.
I'm gonna
Manos.
be the guy, Manos.
Yeah.
The fucking dude.
It's very
gonna be
perfect that
great.
we're going to be characters from terrible movies.
I know.
Because we just love terrible movies.
It's gonna be amazing, and no
Yeah.
one will know who I am, but that's fine.
And what
That's
about
great.
you, Megan?
I'm the less obscure Annie Wilkes.
That's
From
still
Misery.
cool.
That's really awesome.
Well, the thing is, you guys are super obscure, and
Yeah.
people are going to be like, oh, I don't know where your costume's from.
No.
And then when you tell them, they'll be like, yeah, I still don't know.
Yeah.
The difference is when I tell them what movie I'm
Yeah, they'll
from,
know.
they'll be
They'll
like,
be like,
oh,
Yeah.
no, here's the reaction I'm going to get. You guys are going to get, oh, I've never seen that. It sounds hilarious. The reaction I'm going to get is, oh, yeah, I've seen that.
No. Don't be so down. I'm sure
yeah.
it's
Kathy
gonna be
Bates.
cool. It's
yeah,
gonna be
Kathy
awesome.
Bates. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, I hope
so
you
we'll
guys
see
have-
pictures
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
internet. The internet will know who we are.
Yeah, that's right.
Which Finger Podcast Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll post
Whichfinger.com
some pictures.
website.
Because our Instagram's gonna be fucking banging with Halloween pictures.
Oh,
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
So tag us in your Halloween pictures. We'd love to see your Halloween
we wanna
pictures.
see all your costumes.
Tag our shit.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
Finger Horror Podcast. Hashtag
Let's see
that.
it.
Fuck yeah. All right. Happy Halloween, everybody. Get drunk.
Sex bed.